Good evening, friends. Thank you for joining my live session yet again. As you may be knowing, I've been conducting a live interview with the authors whose book I've had a chance to read and review on my blog and also on the other social media channels of mine. And today I'm going to interview the author, Mr. Atul Kumar. He would be joining me live by 9 o'clock. And author Atul has written this book called The Why Boyfriend. Life Doesn't End at X. So I hope you could see the title. So that's a different title altogether, an intriguing one. And this title itself made me pick up the book immediately for review because as you could see, the title is not an usual one. It's entirely different, and it might look like a mathematical algorithm or equation to you if you are not a max student. So it looked just like that even to me. So Atul is an author who is residing in Gurgaon, and his childhood passion of writing stories and eventually to become a storyteller became a reality when he met his better half. So there were a few incidents which has happened in his real life which has become an inspiration for him to pen down this book. So I'm going to join hands with Mr. Atul Kumar in this live interview exactly at 9 o'clock, hardly 2 minutes to go. And once he joins me, I'm going to ask him some questions, and we would get to hear from the author himself. And I'm sure it is going to be a real good one, just like the previous interviews I've had with the other authors. So do stay in and do inform your friends, especially the ones who love reading books, because you're going to have a lot of takeaway from this. Mr. Atul Kumar is joining now. So just waiting for him. Hello, Mr. Atul.
Hello, Mr. Sarath.
Can you hear me all right?
Yeah, sure.
Great. Thank you for joining in this live interview. I'd given a brief introduction about your profile to the viewers. So without wasting any more time, we will jump into the interview directly. Are you all set,
Yeah,
sir?
sure. Yeah.
Okay. The first question to you is, how did you feel after publishing your book, this first book?
See, as we were talking a few days back, like it was a dream for me, and coming up with a novel of this genre and this topic.
Okay.
So, and the response which I got from people was really overwhelming, and it's a great feeling actually. That coming up to a point and writing something which you had thought in your childhood days, and yes.
Great. So we would move on to the next question. Is there a specific reason for naming your novel? Because the title of the novel itself looked like a mathematical equation to me. So it was entirely different. So what made you to name your novel this particular title?
See, if you relate, life is also like a mathematics. There is plus, minus, and everything.
Yeah.
So when I was talking about one of my colleague in the office, he told that this story revolves around somewhere switching from X to Y. So I asked him that why did you suggest Y? Then he said, "Ki, don't you think that there is X after Y in alphabets? So we can relate this in the life also because life does not end at X." So this was his message, and that X that is a transformation, actually transition from X to Y.
Okay.
That's also in the relationship also.
Okay.
So this
Okay.
was the title which suggested by my colleague.
Okay. No, yeah, that was a great suggestion, and the title itself would make people to think about it, because it's
Yeah.
an unusual title, and they would even give more preference. Usually the book with a great cover or a different title tends to get the attraction from the readers. So I'm sure this should strike the chord with the readers as well.
Yeah.
So we would move on to the next question. Where do you write from? Do you go to some specific place, or do you write it wherever you are?
No, for a writer, honestly, I think if you are involved with the story, then you don't need a specific location or a side where you can write, because you are already in that story, and you just need a peaceful mind and a close, you can say, a room where you can write. That's all. I don't need to go to a beach side or any hill station to write that.
Oh, great. Okay. So that's a good answer, actually. So we would move on to the next question. What inspired you to write the books in general? Any tales to tell?
Yeah, like inspired me in, I can say, I made that my friend Rahul, and the way he narrated his story and about his personal experience with life, the way he faced challenges, and the way his wife faced the challenges in uh, coming to that relationship and making it to the marriage. So it was a very difficult journey, and apart from that journey, what I saw, the commitment and the honesty in that relationship what Rahul played. So one thing inspired me was, yes, this is the story which need to be told in the to the people, because we find so many difficult circumstances faced by young people, and today generation is like going very easy with relationships. So we need to give a good message somewhere.
Okay, great. So I would like to touch upon your book itself now. So, one thing I like the way you have portrayed Shreya and her confidence in your book, and about taking decisions for her life. Do you think that this novel will inspire the girls or the women who are said to be soft-hearted and who don't speak when they face challenge to stand up on their own?
Yeah, Shreya is the main character as you have read this novel.
Yeah,
So, in relationship, somewhere we have seen that it's not only boys who face the challenge, but girls has much more, in wider aspect, you can say, has so many challenges.
correct.
And that relationship somewhere fails because either girl who is willing to speak to parents, partner, or willing to just fight with the society or want to take a step, they fail because of due to the many social taboos, and there are so many things. So Shreya in this story has come up with a message that it's all about uh, taking that decision and facing all challenges with all your heart out. So Shreya did that in that story, and this is only what reflection of this story, that today in society girls really don't speak about what problem they are facing, whether they are in a relationship, whether they are in a courtship, or in any kind of marriage. They don't talk about that.
Great. And moving on to the next question, what was your biggest learning experience throughout the writing process?
See, as I evolved as a person, because I thought that if this kind of relationship is there and Rahul and Shreya can do this all, they can fight for their uh, uh, relationship. They can go to social, they can just overcome that social taboos, and they can find ways for themselves. So I think as a person, I also evolved because I was in that story, and somewhere I felt like that I am living that story, and
Yeah.
it changed my total personality.
Okay. Great. So moving on to the next question, Looking back, what did you do right that helped you break in as a writer?
See, since childhood, I was writing and I did mass communication. And during that time, also, I was very much involved with writing. After that, I turned up into advertising agency and I was a professional content writer.
Okay.
So, writing was there something which always was with me. But to come up with a novel that was totally in the card, but it was not happening.
Okay. Great. So, moving on to the next question. Any best piece of writing advice that you would like to share with new or struggling writers?
Yeah, today, see, writing has been more of like commercial aspect. So somewhere, if you see every day, thousands of novels are coming. But just to bring a story and to establish yourself as a writer, this mindset should be not there. Mindset should be there that whatever you are writing, if it can change lives, if it can give a message to society, whether you are not being established or you are not being popular, but still if you change two lives also, then your writing is fruitful or it is giving a message. So for any new writer or struggling writer, it should be a main thing that what he wants with that novel,
Okay.
because only commercial things is really not going to help you.
Correct. Absolutely. Completely agree with that. Great point. Moving on to the next question. Any future books that you would like to discuss now?
See, I am writing it. I have just started, but definitely I can't talk about that. I want to just keep it right now.
Okay. Confidential. That's great. Okay.
Yeah, that's confidential.
So, looking forward to your next book, soon.
Thank you,
Best
thank
wishes
you,
on that. So,
thank you.
moving on to the next question. Any special mention about your reader? Be it with reviews or feedback or anything else.
See, as I told, I was very much focused that this story should reach to people who are facing this kind of challenges and this kind of social challenges actually. So I got two, three good reviews, and actually it also somewhere touched two lives.
Okay.
One of my very close friend, and she was struggling with her life, with her own marriage. So she came up with the message that, yeah, Atul, I was very much inspired with the character of Shreya, and it has given me a strength to deal with what I was just not even talking about, or even I was not thinking about, because only abusive is not about if someone is hitting you. If there is no respect in that relationship, it's not of any worth.
Correct.
So she realized that how a relationship should be there.
Great. So that's good to know. And your book has made a positive impact on the lives of few, including your own friend.
Yeah.
So moving on to the last question. Do you write the story at a stretch or you take your time to complete it? And if you take a longer time, wouldn't you be forgetting the story? And how do you tackle it?
See, as per my experience, when you are in that story and you are involved, you are in a part of that story while writing. It can happen that you can forget about some facts or some incident or some events. Those things definitely we have to record or we have to keep with ourselves. But when it comes to a flow of a story, that cannot be forgotten. So in a stretch we can write the story, definitely that one part is there, but for facts and events you have to record and you should document it. So that is the way I also did. I had documented those all facts, incident and everything, and I wrote this story in a stretch actually.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
I know it's unbelievable that you have written the story in one stretch, because the people who read it would surely agree, because it's the way you have written it's certainly out of the world, because it talks about a lot of women empowerment, and
Yeah.
how they should not blindly accept whatever is thrown at them, and how to face it
Mm.
in this, and especially in this present situation. I'm sure it would be a motivational factor for many of the struggling women out there, and
Yeah.
those who are undergoing divorce, or any problem when it comes to their married life, any marital disputes.
Mm.
Rather than taking any bad decision, or rather than regretting about divorcing the partner who's not worth to share their life with. I'm sure this would go all the way to inspire a lot of women who are facing a lot of trouble day in and day out there. And
Yeah.
I'm sure this message would reach at least a few, if not all, across
Yeah,
the
sure.
country or across the globe. And hopefully,
Mm.
uh, people who are the champion of women's rights and women's struggle should pick up this book and
Mm.
read it, and share it with their family and friends, so that the message reaches the wider audience.
Yeah, sure.
So
Right.
yeah, and do you have anything else to say to the viewers or readers, Mr. Atul?
No, I just want to say that since Valentine Day is very much around, and we will be in a different mood, we will be gifting to loved ones something. Then, if you want to really gift something, then give this novel, because this novel is going to inspire not only your friend, your mother, your sister, everyone who is in somewhere in any relationship, because love is not only about, I think, hanging around or talking or these all things. Love is about respect and the transparency of love. So if you want to gift someone, gift this novel. It will be really a worth for it.
Great. So thank you so much, Mr. Atul, in joining this live interview, and I wish you all the best
Thank
for
you.
this
Thank you
book
so
and
much.
for your future book as well.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.